Whirlwind Plus got even better. Go to whirlwindgolf.com, click on Play Whirlwind Events and Drawings, and you'll already see how great Whirlwind Plus is. And now you can play Monday through Thursday up until September 1st and give your great Whirlwind Plus rate to your entire foursome. That means if the highest price tee time that day is $89 and the lowest price is $59, all members of your foursome only pay the $59 rate. Go to whirlwindgolf.com and let your whole foursome feel the wind.
Thanks for listening, Unplugged Army. I'm Louis Unga, General Manager at Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass. We're proud to present Doug Franz Unplugged.
Forming offense.
Forming offense.
4 minutes.
Forming offense. Forming offense.
Everything you need to know in sports that affects Maricopa County, the state of Arizona, and the world, you get in 4 minutes. We start things off in Midtown Manhattan. We always start local, but after that crazy game, we gotta go national to start. The New York Knicks become the first home team in NBA Finals history to be down by 29 points. And yet they won anyway. 107-106 by outscoring the Spurs 58-30 in the second half. OG Anunoby, 33 points, 7 of 9 from 3, and the magical tip in with 2 seconds left in the game on a Jalen Brunson miss. Coach Mitch Johnson, after blowing the largest lead in NBA Finals history, what'd you say to your team?
I told them to feel the emotion tonight because they're competitive and that's unhumanly possible tonight. And tomorrow, take all the motion out. They better be ready to play in 2 days and win. Knicks
are now up 3-1, one game away from a championship. Game 5, Saturday night in San Antonio, 5:30. Now we'll go back to local, and it's embarrassing. Diamondbacks a loser 8-0. Ryan Gusto of the Marlins had never pitched more than 3 straight scoreless innings, and against the Diamondbacks, he went for 4 scoreless innings. Ryan Nelson, 4 innings pitched, 7 earned runs. What's crazy is all 7 runs were scored with 2 outs. Manager Torey Lovello.
It looked like they knew it was coming at times. I think there were some mistakes, some middle mistakes, some cutters that didn't get to their final landing spot. It happened fast. There were 2 outs, and you're thinking you're going to be able to get them through 5 or 6 innings. That's what I thought as I was watching the inning unfold, and then all of a sudden they built an inning and hit 2 3-run home runs, and that clearly was a big difference in this ballgame.
Obviously, they needed some offense. Marte went 0 for 5. Pavin Smith's batting average dropped to 120, and Ildemaro Vargas went 0 for 4. Up next, Diamondbacks closed the series at Miami. Merrill Kelly tries to avoid the sweep. He's 5-4, 5.71 ERA. Tyler Phillips for the Marlins. He's 0-1, but only has a 2.08 ERA. He'll throw the first pitch at 10:10 this morning. Every NFL team gets 3 days for mandatory minicamp. The Arizona Cardinals decided 1 was plenty. They didn't work out on the field on Monday. They did on Tuesday, but then decided to cancel everything for yesterday. Head coach Mike LaFleur says that since they're playing in the Hall of Fame game, they get an extra week of practice, so they don't need extra time now.
That extra week of training camp, that extra block played into this considerably because, again, an extra block, like we're going to be able to put our pads on, and some teams are just going to be reporting. Like that's going to be awesome, where we're actually starting to play football, and that's a positive for the Arizona Cardinals.
Up next, training camp starts 6 weeks from today. It was 0-0 at halftime, and the Rising couldn't hold it together. Louisville City won 2-0. However, other teams the Rising are tied with also lost, so Phoenix is still in a tie for 3rd in the Western Conference. Up next, they take on 6th place El Paso Saturday night. 13th place Mercury are on the road tonight. They're in Dallas taking on the 5th place Wings. Tip-off in Arlington, 6 o'clock. It starts today. The largest World Cup in soccer history. The Group A games are starting in Mexico City today with Mexico versus South Africa at noon. And then South Korea versus Czechia in Guadalajara at 7 o'clock. Game 5 of the greatest Stanley Cup Finals ever tonight. It's tied up 2-2. Vegas on the road at Carolina. Face-off in Raleigh, 5 o'clock. And finally, meet William Poole of Bolivar, Missouri. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. You can't meet him because poor William's dead. But what makes William's life remarkable is he's the last living descendant of a Civil War veteran. Yes, he just died this week, but his father fought in the Civil War, so he was the last surviving direct descendant of a Civil War veteran. Now, the math is pretty remarkable. What impresses you more? That William lived till he was 101 years old, or that he was conceived when his dad was 80? Now, that's kind of impressive. Charles Parker Poole was born in 1844, fought in the Civil War when he was 21 years old. Charles fought in the 6th West Virginia Volunteer Infantry Regiment. He was 80 years old in January of 1925 when William was born. William lived until he was 101 years old this week. And sadly for the Confederates, it's another battle that the Union Army has won, because the last son of a Confederate veteran died when he made it all the way to 102 years old. That was Calvin Robertson Crane. But you see, he died in 2019. One crazy similarity between Calvin Crane, the last child of a Confederate veteran, and William Poole, the last child of a Union veteran, is the fact that both men served in World War II. Got to tell you, live until you're 101, that's impressive and all, but having a baby at 80, that's like, I mean, even Abraham's impressed.
The reason why I always say that Bell's is not your typical country bar with mediocre bar food is because our kitchen is truly a scratch kitchen. From every single sauce that we make, to every dish, to the beef that we have come in, to the seafood that we have brought in each day, every single dish is handcrafted. We don't have microwaves, so you're tasting that quality the minute that it hits the table.
Bell's Nashville Kitchen on Main Street in Old Town Scottsdale.
You found home, down home.
Hey, Unplugged Army, this is Dom with Slice House by Tony Gemignani. Tony Gemignani is our founder, and he's a 13-time World Pizza Champion and the first American to go to Italy and win the World Pizza Championship in Italy. Come on in and introduce yourself next time you stop by. I'd love to meet you. I'm a business communication major from Arizona State. I would love to talk pizza with you or just talk about anything.
Slice House is in Gilbert at Pecos in Val Vista, near Santan Ford. Hey, respect the craft.
Something has to give in a battle that's now, it's just officially upsetting me. I would like to use stronger language, but I don't know if you've got kids in the car. ABC 15, DirecTV, and my Apple remote. Something's got to give because all three of you are annoying. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever it is that you've decided to make Doug Franz Unplugged a part of your day, my family greatly appreciates it. My name is Doug Franz, and you have found the only podcast in the world totally devoted to the coverage of the four major sports franchises of one great American city that drops on your phone each and every weekday morning. We also cover ASU, U of A, GCU, the Rattlers, the Rising, and the Merc. This is Doug Franz Unplugged, presented by Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass. How are you? I'm doing absolutely wonderful, and I'm annoyed, and I'm frustrated. I'm doing well because 4:30 came, and that's when I interviewed or had my conversation with Bobby Mack yesterday, and it was just so much fun. I mean, just 1 minute we're talking about something serious, and the next minute we're talking about crazy stuff. Talking about Larry and Connie. You'll find out about Larry and Connie coming up. Just had a great time with him. And then started working on some Cardinals stuff. But I have DirecTV. And about every 2 years, DirecTV does something that makes me so angry, I'm about ready to leave it. And then they save themselves at the end. And I don't know why I still have it. I don't trust my internet strongly enough here to actually live on it as far as all the television needs that I have. But anyway, DirecTV is in a fight with the owners of ABC 15. So I can't see the NBA finals or the Stanley Cup finals on over-the-air television. Now, I have an ESPN Plus account. Well, I admit it, I really don't. But my father has one, and I mooch it from him. So I have been streaming both the Stanley Cup and the NBA Finals on the ESPN app, and I watch it on my regular television with this annoying Apple remote. The Apple remote is horrible for sports. It's very nice and sleek and convenient for just watching a movie and other things, but for sports, from a DVR standpoint, it's a disaster. And plus, it's really hard to find how to scroll fast enough if I am trying to watch stuff that's recorded. So I've been watching both the Stanley Cup and the NBA Finals live, which I know for a lot of you is like, hey, isn't that exciting? Isn't that great? No, it's a disaster for me because there's so many things I watch. It's just inconvenient to sit through commercials or watch free throws or watch, like in baseball, it would be a pitching change or a meeting on the mound. Man, all that stuff, fast forward. I'm going right through that. But I watch every pitch. I watch every play of a basketball game. Hockey, I fast forward as soon as the puck is iced, boom. I fast forward it and until the face-off, things like that. I can't really do that very well with the Apple remote. So I now have to watch everything live. So I get done talking to Bobby Mack in perfect timing, and I go up and I start watching the NBA Finals. Jennifer got home a little bit late, and then after the NBA Finals, man, her and I talked. Just one of those wonderful husband-wife moments where you get into a long talk. I don't even know how long it lasted. And then I went upstairs to now watch the Diamondbacks game. And it's like 10 o'clock at night to watch the Diamondbacks game. Well, if it wasn't for this ABC 15 DirecTV issue, that basketball game would have been on the DVR. So I could have watched the Diamondbacks probably somewhat live at 3:40, fast-forwarded through some things, done everything with Bobby Mack and recorded that, and then finished the Diamondbacks and then watched the NBA Finals, and it would have been boom, boom, boom. I had the conversation with my wife. I'm done with all of that, and I'm ready to get to work much sooner in the evening. So that thing is just driving me crazy. But I'm in a great mood because, man, I had a great talk with my wife. I don't normally talk about versus Vegas this early. Oh my, did I have a day. And it wasn't good. So there's that's bringing me down a little bit. But I love the conversation with Bobby Mack, and I can't wait for today, for you tomorrow, but for me today, talking to Bob Nightingale and getting the latest on. It'll be the first reaction of really anybody's had locally of Bob Nightingale after Torey Lovello spoke about it. I know that the old station had him on, which I've got to let it go, but it's kind of funny. When I started reaching out to Bob Nightingale and having him on the old station, people at the old station told me that they didn't think that Bob was really all that exciting, and they thought, if we wanted a baseball person, we should go for somebody else. And I'm like, do you guys know how smart this guy is? No. And now, whenever they want somebody, where do they go? Yeah. Probably shouldn't have told you that, but that's just one of those things that sticks in the craw. But anyway, I know they had him on early in the week, but it was before the reaction from Torey Lovello. So we'll be the first ones to talk to him post Torey Lovello saying that he needed to stop the narrative. So it'll be interesting to see what Bob Nightingale says about that. I think that's it. It's time for Doug's Big One. It's my number one opinion of the day, and it's been Biggie-Sized by your local Wendy's, home of the new and improved spicy chicken sandwich. You can also go with the Biggie Bite, Biggie Bag, Biggie Bundle, and that's when you're looking at a crispy chicken sandwich or, man, I'm telling you, if you get the Biggie Bag with a junior bacon, 4 pieces of chicken, and on top of that, the fries, you're set. You're plenty full. That's at Wendy's. Let's roll. Doug.
Doug. Where's Doug? Here, sorry, Doug. Where are you at?
Yeah, was that a plug to unplug?
Everyone plays from the CM spots, Doug.
Doug had given me a stat.
With that, I am happy to take your questions. Let's start with Doug.
This is a great question, Doug.
Well, I can only answer the questions that get asked of me, Doug.
Obviously, Franz is such a good player.
Doug's big one. 7th place. I am putting it officially in 7th place. Now, if you're anything like me, when somebody makes a list, I get fired up every time. I get fired up for 2 reasons. Number 1, your list is wrong. Number 2, why do I always care? Whenever I'm watching some kind of list show or no matter what, if somebody puts out a list, I'm reading a list of it could be the top 45 guys with jersey number 6, and I'm going to be fired up at something. Wait, you don't put Bill Russell number 1? Are you kidding? And whatever it is, okay? I go crazy. And yet I get mad that I'm going crazy. That why can't I control it better than that? So I have a love-hate relationship with lists. And in the lists of the dumbest things ever in sports, what I saw last night was number 7. What I saw last night officially, on the official list, the one that matters, that's right here on this little notepad. I don't know if you watched the game last night, if you watched the end last night. De'Aaron Fox made a steal. He had to chase down the ball, and then he had a chance to go to the hole with it or pull it out. And he decided to go to the hole and had his shot blocked by OG Anunoby. What a game. OG Anunoby. Oh, my gosh. But anyway, Jalen Brunson goes in for a drive. Wemby gets a block, knocks it into the backcourt. De'Aaron Fox has an easier path to the ball than anybody else. So he goes for the ball and corrals it at about the 18-second mark or so, but he's not on a great path to the basket. So he takes a weird angle, and it allows OG Anunoby to be able to get there and make a legendary block on it, let alone the fact that then 15 seconds later or so, or really 14 seconds later or so, whatever it was, OG Anunoby is then able to tip in another Jalen Brunson miss, and that's the game winner. But De'Aaron Fox is rightfully getting shredded today for that decision. You've got the ball, 16 seconds remaining, a bad angle to the bucket, and you don't back it out. You should fake to the basket and then peel off and head right to the corner and do whatever you can to try to dribble out the clock until your teammates can come help, and you pass the ball around and eat as much clock as you can. Because the more clock you eat, the less chance they have of scoring on the other end. And when you think about trying to score that layup, a layup and making 2 free throws is the same value. It's still 2 points. So you can get 2 points at the free throw line after wasting 5 or 6 seconds, or you can challenge OG Anunoby. Now, I'm not saying if it's a wide open layup, it depends on how many timeouts. If the Knicks don't have any timeouts, stay away. Don't shoot it. But if the Knicks have plenty of timeouts, there's an argument to be made that with that much time, with 16 seconds left. But, oh my gosh, it was really dumb. It was really, really dumb to go at the basket. Here is what De'Aaron Fox said after the game on what happened there.
Haven't scored. Try to get a layup, get up 3. Make them force them to need a 3. And OG made a good block. factor, and usually a lot of the time in that situation where you took the layup, guys would try to run it out and get fouled. When did you think that you wanted to go for the layup instead of trying to get the foul?
I just thought I would be able to outrun him.
In case you didn't hear that, he said he's trying to score there to be up 3 and then force them to hit a 3. And then the next one was, hey, a lot of times guys will try to run out the clock there. Why did you try to score? And he said, I thought I could outrun them. Okay. That's even scarier because you're going to laugh at me. I'm kind of understanding when a player just says, you know what, I choked. Or you say, I screwed up there. I probably should have pulled it out. But when he says, I thought I could outrun him, that kind of lets me know, number one, okay, you didn't have the angle. How did you not see that? And number two, it's just a bad basketball play because you're heavily guarded in that area around the basket. Immediately peel away, eat clock. And when you say, hey, I thought we would go up 3 and force them to hit a 3, if you make your free throws, you're still going to force them to make a 3. Really dumb. Do you want to know who agrees? Charles Barkley. Now, it's not going to be the easiest thing to hear because there's people still at the Garden and Charles is on the floor and people are singing Don't Stop Believing. But he starts off by ripping Fox, but he starts off by ripping DeAndre Fox. Keep in mind his name is De'Aaron Fox.
And DeAndre Fox. DeAndre Fox, whatever. Name right, call his ass DeAndre tonight. That was a dumbass play. Yeah, he did not have to shoot that ball. They could have just got fouled. There was no reason for him to shoot that ball.
Okay, so I told you it's number 7. The 7th dumbest play in the history of sports. You decide where you want to put your list. This might be a Town Hall Tuesday conversation. Number 10, everything Jean Van de Velde did to blow the British Open. that still makes the list. The whole taking off, like once you take your shoes off with a 3-stroke lead at the Open Championship, you already know, wait a minute, I'm making a mistake. Dumb. My number 9 dumbest play, I will never forget. I'm in college, but I'm home from college. It's Thanksgiving around 92 or 93. And my mother's side of the family is over at the house. And my Uncle Todd is a Cowboys fan. Just, terrible upbringing. I don't know why, but he's a Cowboys fan. So obviously the Cowboys are on TV. They're playing the Dolphins in a snowstorm in Dallas. And Miami goes for a field goal, and I can't remember whether the field goal was going to win the game or tie the game. I don't remember the score. But the Cowboys block the field goal, and then it rolls down about 10, 15 yards and stops well in front of the goal line. So it's probably stopped at about the 10-yard line or something like that. Now, in case you don't know the rule, that's fine. But the rule is once a punt or a field goal is blocked, but it rolls past the line of scrimmage, it's treated like a punt. So, yeah, the ball is live, but it's only live for the return team. If the kicking team touches it and controls it, it's simply downed. It's just downed. And if you really want to know a deep rule, if they touch it and lack control on it, then this is crazy. The opposing team, the receiving team, or in this case, the defending team on a field goal, you can actually pick it up. And if you fumble it, it's no big deal. It's no big deal because you get to take the ball back where it was touched to begin with by the other team, and it wipes out a fumble. You might not have known that. But anyway, the dumbest thing you can do is, as the team that blocked the field goal, go touch it. Because if you touch the ball, now it's live for the kicking team. So the Dolphins all kind of run down around the ball, and they're just there. because they can't really do anything but down it. And Leon Lett comes running in out of nowhere, actually chucks Dolphins players out of his way and slides in the snow to pick it up and kicks it forward. Boom, live ball, Dolphins get it. And I don't remember if they scored a touchdown, if they kicked it. I don't know what they did. I don't remember. But they won the game because Leon Lett didn't know the rule, and he goes running through the crowd. It's like nobody on the Cowboys thought, wait, stop Leon before he goes after the ball. So that was hysterical. That's number 9. Number 8, NCAA championship, North Carolina, Old Dean Smith versus Georgetown and John Thompson. Georgetown has the ball, down by 1. And I don't remember what James Worthy was doing, but James Worthy got caught in a screen and he's totally lost. Like, he's lost. He's standing near the Georgetown bench way up at by the midcourt line. Basically, he's standing exactly where you would stand if you're getting open for a teammate who's got the ball between the circles. The problem is Georgetown has the ball, not North Carolina. So in a sense, it's a 5-on-4 because James Worthy is so far out of position. Well, because he's so far out of position, Fred Brown of Georgetown just somehow thinks Worthy's on his team. And he just turns and passes the ball to Worthy. And the game ends. Like, there's no shot from Georgetown. James Worthy dribbles out the clock. UNC wins. If you go back and watch this play, it is so stupid because Worthy is standing there and he just dumbfounded. Worthy's like, why am I standing here? You can tell Worthy's confused for a second. And while he's trying to figure out what he needs to be doing, the other team throws him the ball. He's like, oh, okay, well, thanks for throwing me the ball. So that's number 8. Number 7 is D. Fox. What De'Aaron Fox did last night is number 7. Now, here's your big questions is, do you agree with me that these other 6 are dumber than De'Aaron Fox doing that? Number 6 is a play I've told you about before, the Merkle Boner. So the year is 1908, and in those days, you did not have a playoff. You finished in first place and went to the World Series, or I guess you were second place to last place. It didn't matter. You're not going. There's only a World Series for the first place team in the National League. So it's Cubs-Giants. Fred Merkle plays for the Giants, and the Cubs have the famous threesome of Evers to Tinkers to Chance in their infield. So Fred Merkle's a rookie. I mean, he's young, like 19, 20, 21 years old, something like that. And he comes up to bat with 2 outs in the 9th inning. And he hits a rope for a single that moves a runner to third. So now there's runners on the corners. And, gosh, what was his name? Al Bridwell. That's my history of baseball class. Al Bridwell comes to the plate, and he gets a base hit into a gap. And now the runner on third scores. The game is tied. That run scores. Game is over. Because the fans come running onto the field to celebrate the huge win that it doesn't ice the pennant, but it could ice the pennant for the Giants. Fred Merkle gets scared, runs halfway to second, sees the mob of people running onto the field. And in those days, a lot of fans, you were allowed to walk on the field to exit the stadium. It was just faster because there was hardly any bleachers in the outfield. So you just left the stadium by walking right through the field. So all these fans rush onto the field to celebrate. He turns and runs to the dugout. He never stepped on second. Whenever there's a force out available, the run doesn't count. The ball actually gets thrown around the stands a little bit, And Johnny Evers supposedly punches somebody. That's never been truly accounted for. But he goes to find the ball and the umpire and then steps on the bag. Some people don't even think he had the real ball. But he steps on the bag and goes crazy. And the umpire calls Fred Merkle out. Well, now the run doesn't count and the game is still tied. Now they got a week, 2 weeks left to games, whatever it was. And both the Giants and Cubs ended the season tied. And of course, as you would guess, the Cubs won at the Polo Grounds. So now Fred Merkle's boner means the Giants don't go to the World Series, and they would have if he just ran 45 more feet and stepped on second base. Okay, so I think Merkle's boner is dumber than what D. Fox did last night. Number 5 is the famous play in Game 6 of the 86 World Series when Mookie Wilson hits the ball through the legs of Bill Buckner. No, I don't think it was stupid of Bill Buckner to let the ball go through his legs. He did his best. What was stupid is he was the offensive first baseman for the Red Sox. John McNamara was the manager, and he would always, last 2 innings or so, especially when he didn't think Buckner would hit again, he would take Buckner out of the game at first base, put in a better defensive first baseman, and therefore he's got a better defensive team because he's already got the lead. Instead of making the right decision to win the game, he wanted to do something nice for the player. Bill Buckner had gotten up there in age, and he thought, you know what? We're going to win the World Series. I want Bill Buckner to be on the field so he can feel that celebration. And he didn't take Buckner out of the game. Ball goes through Buckner's legs. Now, granted, they had a 2-run lead. They were winning 5-3 at the time. And the Mets' whole comeback was with 2 outs. It was, if memory serves, Wally Backman made the first out. Keith Hernandez hit a huge drive to dead center field that was caught on the warning track. So now there's 2 outs. Gary Carter hit a curveball right over the shortstop's head. So now he's on first. Famously, Kevin Mitchell, when Gary Carter was at the plate, Kevin Mitchell was on the phone scheduling a flight because he thought the Mets were going to lose and he was ready to go home. And he didn't even have his shorts, pants on anymore. So he quickly got dressed and ran out to the on-deck circle when Gary Carter got his hit and then barely made it up to the plate in time for his at-bat. So he gets on via another hit. Then Ray Knight gets a hit, knocking in Gary Carter. So that's now it's 6-5. And then Calvin Schiraldi throws a wild pitch that scores Kevin Mitchell, and that moves Ray Knight to second. So then when Mookie Wilson comes to the plate, he hits that ground ball through the legs of Bill Buckner right when Ray Knight is rounding third. And that's when Vince Scully says, Knight, or you go, a little dribbler behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Knight rounds third. He's going to score and the Mets win it. I mean, it was just crazy. It's crazy. So that was, that to me is number 5 on John McNamara and not on Buckner. Number 4 for me is the Chris Webber timeout. I believe that's 1992, if I'm not mistaken. Chris Webber, NCAA tournament. Again, what's funny about North Carolina is Dean Smith won 2 championships. One was Fred Brown passing it to the wrong guy, and the other one was Chris Webber calling timeout when they didn't have any. He called, and he also traveled, but they didn't call it. So he gets a rebound, he travels, no call, dribbles, gets stuck and trapped, dribbles towards his own bench, and then calls timeout. They don't have any. So now that's a technical foul when you call a timeout and you don't have any, and North Carolina wins. Number 3 to me, dumbest ever thing I've ever seen in sports, or ever in sports. I did not see the Merkel boner. Is the I was there at the game, though. Was the decision by Darrell Bevel, God bless Chaparral High School, of course, Darrell Bevel deciding to have Russell Wilson throw a pass instead of handing the ball to Marshawn Lynch at the 1 yard line. That, to me, is number 3, Super Bowl 49. Number 2 is, you could argue number 2 is actually the dumbest ever because it's a championship game, and my number 1 was not a championship. But do you remember in 2018, I can't remember who was on the free throw line, but it's a tie game. It's Warriors and Cavs. It's a tie game, and whoever it is that's on the free throw line, you assume he's going to make the free throw and give the Cavs the lead. And there's like 6 seconds left, 8 seconds left, something like that. But he misses the free throw. And in missing the free throw, J.R. Smith makes an incredible athletic rebound. But he doesn't know what the score is. Somehow, he just allowed himself to do the math that was, well, he's going to make the free throw and then we're going to be winning. He forgets, well, the guy just missed the free throw, and J.R. Smith gets the rebound, and then he starts dribbling out the clock. He starts dribbling around, and LeBron's got his hand up, hey, pass me the ball so we can try to win. Hey, pass me, hey, and he starts yelling, and he starts jumping up and down, pointing at the basket, and J.R. Smith stops dribbling, and he's like, what? And then, that's the end of regulation, and the Cavs lose it overtime because J.R. Smith didn't know, hey, you just got the rebound from your own team's miss. You're 4 inches from the basket. Shoot it. Win the game. And he didn't. And the dumbest thing ever in sports. It's still hilarious every time you see the replay of this play. Jim Marshall, Minnesota Vikings, recovering the fumble. And immediately the play-by-play guy says, and he's going the wrong way. Marshall forgets which end zone he's trying to defend, and he runs to the end zone he's trying to defend. So he runs into the end zone, and of course, nobody on the other team is going to try to tackle him, and nobody on his own team can get there in time to tell him not to do that anymore. So he's running into the wrong end zone, and then if he just would have turned around, he would have seen everybody waving at him, stop doing that. Instead, he gets into the end zone, and then he throws the football into the crowd. He's like, hey, all right. And it's a safety. Come on. And it's not like he ran 8 yards or something. I think he ran, I have to go back and look at the play. He ran about 54 yards or so, going the wrong way, and never stopped running. He's so excited to score a touchdown. That's the dumbest. So those are my top 10 dumbest plays I've ever seen in sports. I didn't have room for, I've seen 2 walk-off balks, which are pretty stupid. I can't remember. If you can think of something else that's dumber, I want to remember. Because, you know what I did? I just thought of one. The famous Pat McAfee punt play in the Colts game when they only had 2 guys running the punt and they had a trick formation. And whoever it was the Colts were playing was like, all right, if you're just going to snap it, and they were going for a fake play on 4th down, that belongs on there somewhere. That might pass up Jean Van de Velde, and maybe that's number 10, the Pat McAfee play. Oh my gosh! All right, that's my list of the 10 dumbest things I've ever seen in sports. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to ask Bobby Mack that question, but again, we recorded with Bobby Mack before the game, so I didn't know D. Fox was going to do any of that. I'll do a deeper dive into the game in just a second. Santan Ford, 202 in Val Vista. Use the mobile unit. Don't forget, look right now, upper left-hand corner of your windshield. If you got one of those stickers, when's your next oil change? When do you need it? If it's coming up, remind yourself now. It's simple. Schedule it now. Like if you know you're going to need it in the next month, schedule it already out for a month and say, okay, coming up on July 9th, I'm going to meet a buddy over at Slice House or 100 Mile Brew, and I'm going to get an oil change from the mobile unit. All you have to do is be within 25 miles of Santan Ford, 202 in Val Vista. I've used it my last 3 oil changes, and oh my gosh, it makes life so much simpler. Go to santanford.com. The D. Fox play is not why the Spurs lost. You can't blow a 29-point lead and it's because of one play. I love what Charles Barkley said. It was Kenny Smith that was talking in the postgame show, and Charles was sick of the point Kenny was making, and then just jumped in and no, here's what happened.
It'd be great in terms of a lot of things that they were. Hell no.
Great? What do you mean hell no, they weren't great?
Okay, what did we see? We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow.
We saw they had a 25-point lead, took eight straight threes. They thought that was some of the most mismanaged, stupid basketball. Hey, when you blow a 29-point lead, the other team has to help you. The San Antonio Spurs helped the New York Knicks win this game by doing some of the stupid-ass stuff I've ever seen on a basketball court.
Congratulations to the Knicks for coming back, but Chuck, I agree with you. They played terrible basketball. They got comfortable. With the league. They was already talking about, going back to San Antonio. They just didn't play smart. And, you never know what a champion is until you become a champion. But tonight, the Knicks, they fought like a champion.
They did.
That's an incredible stat. 8 straight missed threes when you're up by 25. He is so right. The 3-point shot, ball movement, fantastic defense is why you had the lead. And suddenly they just stopped. I mean, it is total laziness, checked out. We've got this one self-absorbed, I want to get some points, and they just started chucking up shots. And Mitch Johnson was totally asleep at the wheel because you cannot allow your team to shoot 8 straight threes. As soon as they get to 4 missed threes, you call a timeout and you say, guys, there's really not another reason to shoot a 3. Okay? We're not just going to sit on the ball and eat clock, but we're going to run our offense and take good shots. We're going to run our offense. We're going to move the ball. And if we're inside of 10 seconds and it's a wide open 3, okay. But make sure we got a paint touch. Make sure we made them collapse. Make sure it's a shot that we shoot all the time, not just come down and shoot within 7 seconds. So I want to give you a new rule. No 3-pointers in the first 14 seconds of the shot clock, right? If we're in the first 14 seconds of the shot clock, keep the ball moving and find a better shot. All right? Are we good? Okay. I maybe he tried to say that, but if they're not getting it, then you got to bench somebody. I mean, that was horrible, horrible basketball. Victor Wembanyama, what happened?
Jared Weiss, The Athletic. Can you just explain how that thing fell apart in the fourth quarter?
I think it began before that.
Third row on the left.
Can't really explain it right now. I don't know. I think it's just, execution, greediness, some sort. We clearly weren't the most hungry in the second half.
Because of the accent, I can't make out for sure if he said grittiness or greediness.
Greediness, some sort.
But I think he said greediness. I think he's referring to guys wanted to score and pile on individually. And then once they fell out of that rhythm, they couldn't get it back. Boy, that's strong leadership if that's actually what he is saying. Here's Mitch Johnson, who I think really, really failed here.
Obviously, a few things. They scored 30 points and a half. We got away from what got us the 76 points in the first half, just in terms of putting pressure on the rim, rolling after screens, running, continuing to find the paint, whether it's for ourselves or for a teammate. We got on our heels and, missed some shots, and then, you don't get as many free throws and high high percentage looks when you play on your heels like that.
I don't know if you can make out some of the Coach Johnson stuff. Boy, that was, listen, I can't believe I'm about ready to say this about Madison Square Garden, but that's so Bush League that you put a press conference anywhere near you can hear fan noise. There's fans cheering like crazy, and it interrupts the press conference. You can't hear what they're saying. You might think, hey, Doug, you're being kind of weird media. Let the fans cheer. No, I have no problem. Fans lose their mind. Go ahead. I'm just staring down Madison Square Garden saying you can't put a coach's interview somewhere that avoids that noise just for the sake of the press, for the sake of fans that aren't at the game so they can hear what's being said. I mean, that is Bush League right there. But I love what he said. We got away from running through the screens. What he means by that is you have a screen set for you, and then you flash. You're trying to get open, and you don't get the ball. Well, he's declaring that some of the guys stopped hustling. I want the ball right here. I don't get it. I'm not going to continue on with my cut. Well, if you continue with your cut, the defense has to adjust to you, and that might make somebody else open. But he's saying guys stopped hustling. They stopped continuing with their cuts. Therefore, that makes it harder to move the ball because there's less human movement. You need player movement and you need ball movement. Now that the player's up, I didn't get it, I'm going to stop my cut. Well, now the defense, it's easier for me if I'm defending you and you stop your cut. It's easier for me not only to keep an eye on you, but to hang back in case you're the dummy cut. Because now that I see you're not hustling, I'll check for a second. Wait, is there anybody else coming behind me? Up there is somebody. So now I'm in the passing lane for the next guy. And now I'm helping out my teammate. I'm helping him defend his guy because since you're no longer a threat because you stopped hustling, I don't have to worry about you. I like that breakdown from Johnson. Okay, specifics. Second half, Wemby. You lost the second half 58-30. What was the difference after scoring 76 points in the first half?
What did you think changed offensively for you guys in the second half?
Stop moving the ball. Stop executing.
It'll be really interesting. I'm fascinated by something, and I admit this is also coming from the point of view of a Suns fan. What does this do to the Spurs going forward? You know, when I gave you my list of the 10 dumbest things, the decision not to give the ball to Marshawn Lynch basically destroyed the Seahawks. That group never came back together. What does this loss do? And I don't even mean from a Game 5 standpoint, although I'm fascinated by it. But I just mean going forward as a group in the Western Conference. Because we know how much higher the Spurs are than our Suns right now. But is this the type of thing that tears them apart? Or is this the type of lesson that makes them, borderline unstoppable for the rest of the way? I mean, sometimes it can be, like, you remember the second year of Bruce Arians after their great 13-3 season when they lost to Carolina. It was almost like they felt like they're a team of destiny. We have one more game to win since we went to the NFC Championship game. Here we go. And they just weren't quite as good. It was almost like we know we just need to get to the postseason. And then that's where the dreams come true. But it wasn't about, hey, last year has nothing to do with this. So if they don't win the finals, will they come back next year with the attitude of we're going to be ready when it comes to the playoffs? And if you have that attitude, you don't have the regular season you need. You just have this, hey, we can flip the switch at any time. Or is it more, they're so galvanized from that they work together forever, make sure it doesn't happen again, and then they're just on a torrid pace next year? I'm nervous about it, but I'm really, focused on it as well. In your mind, Mitch Johnson, what happened in the second half?
It's a pretty clear picture if you watch the game in terms of what we did in the first half and why we scored so many points. It was pace. It was finding the paint. It was passing the ball to your teammate. It was taking good shots. And the second half was opposite of that. So, yeah, I mean, it's 76 points, one half, and 30. That's a stark difference, and a lot of surface level things. You don't get to peel too many layers and dig too deep to find some differences.
They're saying the right things. If you didn't see the game, it is serious. Watch the last 30 seconds. I mean, to see a man get lifted into historic lore, assuming the Knicks win the world championship, for DBACKS to be that open when the block happens from Wembanyama and the ball is going into the backcourt, and now he is able to turn and take it to the rim. And for OG Anunoby to get that block, then for Jalen Brunson to miss another go-ahead shot, back-to-back go-ahead shots, he missed. One, Wembanyama blocks. The second one comes off the glass. And the perfect route and timing of Anunoby to get the tip. That's a life-changing 20 seconds of sports for that man. I mean, that's life-changing if he would have done it for the Spurs. It's life-changing if he would have done it for us. But to do it for the Knicks in Madison Square Garden, a team that hasn't won in the finals since the 70s, an 80-year heritage team that only has 2 titles, and now because of your 20 seconds of play, both massively clutch plays. Oh, the guy is a legend forever if they win. That's crazy. All right, coming up next. This might be a little backwards because we have Diamondbacks to talk about and we have Cardinals to talk about. But I'm going to give you Bobby Mack next. Keep in mind, when we did the conversation, it was after practice had been canceled and Coach LaFleur had already talked to the media. But it was before Diamondbacks Marlins and before the Knicks and the Spurs game. Bobby Mack, heritage, legend, tradition, Arizona Republic columnist. Next on Doug Franz Unplugged, presented by Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass. ParkerPaysYourPower.com. Go to ParkerPaysYourPower.com and click on Nominate Someone, and then fill out the form to give any friend, neighbor, coworker, or someone that you know is in need an opportunity just to erase a bill for 1 month. It's just another one of the 18 million reasons why my family always chooses Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, then REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
It's big, it's juicy, it's meaty. Get your burrito at Burrito Express. If you're having a hangover, a bad day, even a good day, still get your burrito at Burrito Express. It will make you feel better.
At Goodyear Fit Body Bootcamp, when the husbands have come in, their first thought is this is just some group dance class like Zumba, and this is going to be no problem. And when we humble them for a 30-minute workout, typically they end up signing up because they see that this is just as challenging for them, and they do want to support their wives in their fitness journey. My name is Aaron. I also go by AG Kleino on Twitter. We strive to inspire fitness and change lives every day.
That right there is the Bobby Mack, the premier #1 columnist in Market 13, the Arizona Republic, joining us on Doug Franz Unplugged, presented by Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass. And we're shooting the bull. How's life, Bobby Mack?
Wait, we're 13th out of what?
Well, like New York's #1, LA's #2, Chicago's #3. This is Market 13.
Market, or what about population size? Aren't we like 5 or 6?
Well, if we're comparing cities, then Phoenix.
Well, what are we comparing?
It's the whole called DMA. So basically, from Buckeye to Casa Grande and from Anthem, I don't know, down to Maricopa. That is the Phoenix DMA. And when you count all those people, we are market 13.
All right, you lost me with all those things, but whatever. It's your podcast. I'm just here to make you happy.
You succeed greatly.
I don't know.
Do you think that because the Cardinals won so many games last year and the postseason extended so deep into January that they needed to take time off for minicamp, and that's why we basically had one day of real on-field work because they had to be exhausted from the long season? That's a good answer.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that.
Can you tell I'm a little annoyed?
It saves some people from having to step on the field again. I know that, at least a couple guys.
Exactly. You wrote about one.
I wrote about both of them, but I was specifically writing about another. But look, it's not uncommon for teams to do this. And when Kyle Shanahan announced he was cutting pretty much all of it, you thought that maybe the tree branch that is Mike LaFleur might follow suit. A lot of us reporters, some of them were talking about it the other day. I was thinking about it to myself because I don't like to talk to all those people all the time, but thought that this was coming. I was pleased as punch, and I haven't had punched in 25 years. Not punched, but punch.
I was going to say, what's happened more recently? You drinking punch or being punched?
I got in one fight in my life. It was in 7th grade over a girl, lasted 5 seconds, but it was in the alley and the whole school came.
Did you win that quickly or lose that quickly?
We both got a punch in and became friends, and the girl left town. Not because of us. Her mom and dad decided to move somewhere.
That's because of the violence in the school.
Oh, no. Her name was Connie Stevens. If she's out there, I'm looking for her. She was the prettiest girl in Washington Elementary.
Wow.
Phoenix, Arizona.
I think she used to work at the radio station.
Really?
No, not really.
Okay. Thanks a lot. I've moved on. I'm sure you've seen that.
What's funny is you remember her name, but do you remember his name?
Larry somebody.
Okay, Larry somebody. See, he didn't amount to much.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
But, yeah, I wasn't happy about it. I'm happy that I haven't been involved in fisticuffs, really. I mean, I did run into some situations where I thought I might need them over the course of my life, especially in this business, sports writing. Yeah. There's been a few instances, Doug, where I thought I might have to throw down, but I was bringing fists to a gunfight on one occasion.
Who had the gun?
Well, I don't want to reveal the actress's name, but it was for bodyguards that were packing irons under their long, heavy leather trench coats at Madison Square Garden in '93 Eastern Conference Finals.
Wow.
Because I confronted them about cutting in front of the line in the media chow pregame meal. And they didn't like that. And the actress said, "Don't you know who I am?"
Wow, you got one of those.
Well, I don't know what that means, but
meaning one of those. Don't you know who I am? Like I've never had that for real.
I think her name rhymed with Posey Durez or something like that. Anyways, she had like 3 or 4 big guys with her, and I'm like, "Look, man, come on, what are you gonna do? Shoot me in the line? Let's go."
Get you away.
Sitting here, standing here for like 5 minutes. Like the game's in like 10 minutes. Can we just? They didn't like it, but I didn't like it either. It wasn't the worst of it.
So who ended up winning? Like, did they still cut?
I won. Oh, okay. I won.
She got behind you?
No, I just moved in front of them.
Oh, well done. Okay, well done. Tit for tat. No pun intended. I'm proud of your bravery.
I don't know. I was young. I was hungry. I mean, what are you going to do?
Gosh.
What, they really weren't going to shoot somebody, right? I mean, they were posing, and look, I said, "Hey, thanks a lot," after I moved back in front.
Were you covering?
The food was horrible, by the way.
At Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't remember what it was. I just remember like this wasn't worth it. I should have just let them go.
Were you covering Knicks Bulls as if like it's a preview?
Because the Suns were in the Western Conference Final.
Yeah, so you're kind of previewing what the Suns
were previewing, Doug.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's big time.
Well, it got more interesting the next game.
Was that the Jordan dunk?
No, that was the little number 3 guy for the Knicks. What was his name?
John Starks?
That was the game.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Because after that game, some dude named MC Hammer came and started drinking all the post-game media beer next to the media room. Him and his entourage. This is true. It's in the book.
Okay. I can't wait for the book.
Yeah, a lot of people can't. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? There was like 3 lousy Coors Lights or something and this slush ice. And I'm like, look, I'm not advocating drinking on the job, but this was well past deadline. And, the NBA, life was different.
Yeah, it's there for the media.
Then, right?
Why didn't you walk up to the beer and tell him you can't touch this?
That's good. I don't even know if that was a thing yet. It might have been because I didn't know who the hell he was until he said, "Don't you know who I am?" Kidding. I'm kidding. I think I knew because of the pants.
Yeah, the pants had to be a dead giveaway. I didn't know he's in uniform all the time, though.
I don't know what he really was wearing. I just know he drank all of our beer, and somebody asked me to go get beers for them, and I said, "Yeah, I'll get you one, and I'll grab one for myself." But there was only 3 left.
Oh, gosh.
But you know what? I got them. Of course, they weren't happy about it.
Did you take them away from MC Hammer, or did you
I just reached in, grabbed them, and said, "This is for the media guys. Don't you guys have a special VIP place?" I mean, they were just sitting around in folding chairs, drinking our beer. I didn't think that was right. Is that right, Doug?
Hey, well, here's the thing. I think you have every right to defend beer. I don't know.
I was rambunctious, my friend. I had no cares. I mean, what's going to happen? This was a day after, 2 days after the, other thing. And I'm like, oh my God. And I love New York. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I do too.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, Doug.
I would never want to live there, but I love it. Really? Wow.
Yes. I watched a lot of Seinfeld. I could handle it.
Okay. Do you speak Portuguese?
I did because I went to Brazil. Don't you remember?
That's right.
Obrigado.
Well done. I don't want to know what that means.
It just means thank you, Doug.
Oh, okay. Well, merci for that.
Oh yeah, I know a little French too.
Oh, well, let's keep that rolling. What do you know?
Do you know anything about Montreal, Doug? What are you laughing about? Question.
When I was about 8 years old, I asked my dad, "Who's a team nobody cares about?" And he said the Expos. And I became an Expos fan for no reason.
Yeah.
And then hated because I didn't know the story of ASU yet, and I didn't know the story of the flag in Dodger Stadium. But I hated Rick Monday because in 81, he hit a towering home run and it eliminated the Expos in that weird strike split season of 81. And I was mad at Rick Monday and hated him until I was in my 30s. And then I learned all about him ripping the flag away from the Vietnam protest. And then I was like, oh, I kind of like that dude.
Ah, all right. So it turned out okay.
Yeah. There's my Expo story for the day. So who knows? Maybe someday I'll do Montreal Expo play-by-play.
In some form or fashion.
I'll do it in French, Je m'appelle Doug. See how that goes.
That's not bad. You know what French is for a hot dog, Doug?
I do not, I must say.
I learned this from a good friend of mine, Charlie Simmer, who was on a famous hockey line with the LA Kings and was a Coyotes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Coyotes. A Coyotes television analyst who was a big fan of the Shin Show. It's hot dogs. And everywhere on every street corner outside of the old Forum was a hot dog stand, kind of like New York.
Okay.
And those hot dogs were pretty dang good, just kind of like the ones in New York. This one had a little bit of panache to it. I don't know what language that is, but the hot dogs were dang good.
And hot dog in French is hot dog?
No, it's Shincho.
Oh, Shincho. Oh.
Or something like that. Sounds a little Asian. But
yeah, it did. Yeah, that didn't sound French.
It's been years since I've been there, but okay. Not that you are. But if you do, I'll go with you for a weekend.
Okay, done. I would enjoy that.
Maybe.
I'm
not staying with you, but I'll come visit you.
I have never been in Montreal.
Or Quebec?
I have
never been to Vancouver or Calgary, Doug, or Edmonton?
None of those. Now, I have been to Alberta. I just haven't been up to Calgary or Edmonton.
Well, that's pretty much Alberta right there. Once you've been there, you've been everywhere.
Well, I mean, I was in the extreme southern tip at Glacier National Park, and you can wander on the wrong trail and end up in Canada.
Died by a big bear attack, too. What the hell were you doing there for?
It was just I was young. You travel around when you're young, and you visit national parks and hike.
What were you, dog sledding or something? What the hell?
No, it was in July, I think, June or July.
Well, you can't dog sled in July, I don't think.
No, so therefore I was not.
All right. I don't know what you're talking about, but
I'm going back to what I'm irritable about. The Cardinals aren't good enough.
It's the Cardinals. Okay.
Of course it is. The Cardinals aren't good enough to be canceling practices. Like, if there's ever a franchise that needs to be practicing, number one. Number two, I am so tired of Camp Pillow Fight. I thought we were done with that with Cliff. Jonathan Gannon had one tough practice in 3 years, and now we can't even do a whole 3-day mini camp. We cancel first day for meetings, and then we cancel the third day because I guess either day 2 was too hard or your questions were too tough about Josh Sweat not breaking a sweat.
America's reporter, probably, not me.
America's reporter was right on it. And it didn't matter how many times the paid for members of the media by the Cardinals to divert attention from the Cardinals asked different questions. The America's reporter kept bringing it right back to what's going on with Sweat and what's going on with Brissett.
Yeah. Well, in others' defense, others did ask about it.
Yeah.
Well, including me, yes.
You did.
Look, yeah. We knew Brissett wasn't going to practice.
Right.
But why the hell can't Josh Sweat practice? I mean, as I wrote, how long has he been playing football? I mean, was it 7 years or more?
And he's got a big enough contract. He's happy.
You're supposed to be hunting quarterbacks like a crazy man, and you can't. I mean, look, they excused him, I guess, but he told them, I'm not going to practice. And they said, oh, we don't allow you to practice if you haven't been here. You can't go in shorts and a helmet for, I don't know how many minutes, 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have done that, and I'm almost dead. I mean, I would have died had they asked me to, but I could have tried if they're paying me money.
It was kind of interesting when you and Teo were asking questions and you both picked up on it quickly. When Coach said he would if he could. Yeah. And well, wait a minute.
But he can't, so he won't.
Yeah. Okay. Well, wait a minute. Why can't he? What did you just step in, Coach? That was really weird.
So is it injury related? No, it's not injury related. Well, what does that mean?
Yes.
So then he went on to, I thought clumsily, and I like Mike LaFleur. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but you took way too long because I'm going to keep that between me and him, the conversation about why. Well, why don't you just tell us? It's because, I have a rule that if you're not here for phase 1 and 2, you're not practicing, or phase 1, you're not going to practice, blah, blah, blah. Come on. I mean, look, I'm not going to be the old crazy old dude that says, toughen up. Because I know Josh could have handled that. I mean, if that's really the rule, change the goddamn rule. I'm sorry. No offense to God.
Well, he might agree with you.
I mean, what do you think?
I think it's ridiculous, and I think it's totally made up, and it was made up on the fly because I know that there's no rule within the NFL, so it's a new made up Cardinals rule.
It's a Michael LaFleur rule? Or is it a Josh Sweat rule?
Or it's not even a rule, and he just threw that out there at the last second because it's ridiculous. These are highly trained athletes, and even if they're not in 100% game shape, it's not going to be too painful for them to put on a helmet, no pads, and actually run around. It's made up. There's just nothing there. And that concerns me. It concerns me when you try to pull crap out of your butt like that.
Okay, I don't know if that's what happened, but I'm like, I was, as I wrote, I was confused or I'm stupid. And it could be both.
I will go with neither. I think you're just too kind to stare it down and say, okay, you're all full of crap on this one.
Well,
because you're a real life journalist, even though you're a columnist, you're a real life journalist. So that you want facts. I just look at it and say, okay, what's the alternative? There is no alternative. They're being dumb. So therefore it's a lie.
I am just a normal dude who's asking questions and wants to know. And it didn't seem, it just felt off.
Yeah.
Which was the impression I was trying to make. I mean, this may all be true, but it seems kind of, I don't want to say fishy.
Yes.
But it was fishy, Doug.
Yes, it was. Okay.
And I like fish. I don't like it in a microwave, ever.
Or
unless it's walleye. Then I think you could, cut it some slack.
Because it smells so good even when heated up
because walleye doesn't leave a stench.
Yeah, walleye is wonderful. As in Ohio,
it's the best fish in this country.
I have told it so. I've looked at my fork and said, walleye, you're the best fish.
I don't talk to my utensils, but I still love you.
How about this one? I want this one from you because I know you have great respect for both people.
Who's that?
Bob Nightingale is either the best or one of the best baseball writers in the game. And he writes a great column about trading for West Sider Tarek Skubal. And then he does his Around the Bases segment and throws out the toughness of Aaron Judge and says that even though he's had this rib injury for a month and a half, he kept playing because so many other guys on the team were hurt and he figured he could take care of his rib later. And then right after that, he wrote, then on the other side of the world, there's Ketel Marte, who there are still segments of the organization frustrated that he doesn't continually play. And then he brought up sitting against Shohei Ohtani, blah, blah, blah. That had about a 2-day shelf life. And then suddenly Torey Lovello brought it back up 2 days ago and said, hey, I want to defeat this narrative here on Ketel Marte. So if he was talking about some hack writer throwing crap at the wind or on the wall, okay. But when it's Bob Nightingale is the one that wrote it, I got to tell you, I'm on the side of Bob Nightingale that there must be people. Now, he didn't say who. It could be 2 guys in the front office. It could be the entire bullpen. It could be one coach. It could be a lot of people. We have no idea, but we just know he's a good reporter. Therefore, it's true. I don't know why Torey felt the need to run and defend Ketel Marte when the subject had died, basically. It was 2 days old.
No, that story lingered for a week. Come on.
No.
It was, well, all right. If it was only 2 days, I thought it stretched a little bit longer.
I thought Bob wrote it on a Sunday column, and I read it on Monday, talked about it on Monday, talked about it on Tuesday, and it's over. And then
we're talking about it on Thursday. That's 4 days.
I know it is. But it was dead Tuesday, and then Torey brought it back up.
I don't mind Torey doing what he did. That's Torey's MO, and I salute him.
At what point does he say, because I think the reason why
What's he gonna say, Doug?
I think the reason why nothing.
The bullpen told me they don't like him. The bullpen. Why did you even bring up the bullpen? What did they have to do with this?
I just threw out who it could be. Who knows?
Look, maybe there's a couple disgruntled people that don't like Ketel for whatever reason. And maybe those are the go-to sources for some people. I don't know.
I believe that.
I mean, I think last year when Nick Pecoro broke a story, following the All-Star break disappearance from Ketel, that he talked to players and players didn't like it. Now, Perdomo, I believe, or was it Gurriel? I think it was Perdomo.
No, it was Perdomo that came out and had that speech to the media.
Yeah, and I thought that was great. And I didn't mind what Torey did at all. You got to take care of the locker room. You got to nip it in the bud, as Barney Fife would have said. I don't have any problem with that. I mean, I don't know about, I'm not going to discount or disprove or wash over the reporting, but if people still have a problem with it, well, maybe you got to look at them and say, maybe you're not pulling your weight. I don't know. I'm not around it enough to know, but I don't like anybody piling on anybody. I find it kind of disgusting, but everybody has opinions, and sports are all about that, as well as gambling. So I don't know. Sometimes I get sick of sports. I really do.
I understand.
Not that I'm sick of this, but I hate talking about crap like this.
Yeah.
But you go ahead. Ask me some more nonsense. No, I'm kidding. I love you.
How do you feel about anonymous sources?
Well, we used to use them.
Right.
At the Arizona Republic, but you had to vouch for them, and then a new rule was you had to have at least 3, and then a new rule, you have to divulge who the sources are, and that's when we stop using them.
You mean in the paper or to your editor?
To an editor, or to a group of editors.
Okay.
I've used it before. I've been on some touchy subject stories back in the early days. Or as Wolf would say, the dark days. and it was no problem. But once you had to start divulging, it was like throwing somebody under the bus. You don't know what, you kind of hope you can trust people, but you don't know. And so what's the point of using them? So now we don't use them, and that makes it all the better.
I have a strong feeling. Like, I think I know who it is. Do you ever try to guess sources? Mike Florio does that all the time when he thinks he knows what it is, and then he will talk about it, and he'll narrow down who it could be. I don't have a problem when he does that, but some people think that's sacrilegious because I'm highly confident. I have no source on who spoke to Nick, and I don't know who spoke to Bob Nightingale, but I have a strong feeling who it is.
You got to know, don't you?
Yeah, I don't think.
Are you going to reveal your
my guess of who I think it is?
I don't think you should.
I don't think I should either. And even though it's unplugged and I would do it over a beer, I know the industry well enough that it will get back to the person, and then the Diamondbacks would be really upset that I'm just throwing crap on the wall
it's an assumption. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
now, is it an educated guess, Doug, or do you really have an educated guess?
I totally have an educated guess.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do. And it's irrelevant because there's no reason to propagate something that you want to die. Let's let it get done and move on. And look, I know it's been an up and down turvy couple years for Marte, but I mean, he does a lot of great things for this team too.
I can handle both. Like, a lot of people look at that and say they work each other out. And I look at it and say, this guy has Hall of Fame talent and not Hall of Fame desire. That's my feelings on him.
I don't think you can ever judge a man's heart.
Well, I think you can if you don't play.
Your former partner would tell you that. He'd come over the table at you for that too.
Now, you'd only come over the table if I said the Raiders are dead.
Well, they are. Wolf, come over the table at me. I dare you. I just sit here like a panda waiting to strike.
Well, you treat him like Larry somebody, I would assume.
I don't know what that means.
That's the guy that you got in a fight with.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. Over Connie.
Connie, yeah, that's right.
Sorsby? How bad is this?
Oh, well, that's getting more attention than Cattell Marte.
Yes, it is. That's why we were going to get to it eventually.
Well, I figured you would. I don't know. I think if some of the teams in the Big 12 decided that they wanted him on their roster, I wonder if they'd be as adamant about saying, "Oh, he can play."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I did think the judge's finding
it makes no sense, even on legal grounds. The guy's asleep at the wheel.
February 8th.
Yes, we got to wait till February 8th for the actual
after the CFP championship game.
Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks after the championship's over.
2 weeks after.
Yeah. Because February 8th, that's like Super Bowl range.
my vacation time. I don't want to deal with this. I think that, I hate to say it, but, you're going to get the government involved, and then it's going to be more chaos.
Yeah.
And maybe the government should. I'm not a big fan of that, but I'm following it, but I'm not as glued in as you are, Mr. Elmers.
I've always had a peculiar relationship with the law.
Okay. I want to talk about that. Can we just move into that? You've been incarcerated.
I've never been arrested. I've never been incarcerated.
You're no man.
I have been in the back of a patrol car once, and I wasn't smart enough to realize they don't unlock. So I couldn't get out and kind of freaked out a little bit. And the cop had to turn around and say, "Young man, you're in the back of a patrol car. You can't get out." Like, oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
And why were you there, Douglas?
Oh, now, see, that's the dumb part of the story. I lost my fuel cap, and I didn't know that the gas can evaporate. And I was gone doing play-by-play for the First Ohio University.
Wow. This wasn't on Tuesday then?
No. This wasn't recent. In 1995, actually. So then when I got back to the car, I couldn't get it going. And I was parked in a spot that was illegal to be parked in. However, you were allowed with a special pass, but the pass had run out. So the cop was actually standing there when I was trying to get in. There you go.
That was a needless.
It was. Yeah, but you asked, so you get it.
I'm sorry I brought that up. You should probably cut that all out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. How would you feel if Coach Kenny Dillingham actually says we're not playing them? Like, there are some Big 12, like, I can't say it's Kenny, but there are some Big 12 coaches that have openly said we want to skip that game. And I don't know what the conference would do, because if one does it, it's a forfeit and Texas Tech wins. But if they all do it, I mean, can you really have that?
Well, you can say whatever you want. Will you actually do it? And how many others will follow is the story.
Yeah.
So until A, B, and C happens, it doesn't really matter.
Are you outraged by this?
I'm not outraged. I yawn and stretch over this, but I know people are.
Yeah.
There's more important things going on in this world and in this country than Brandon Sorsby.
You're right. Sports has no place if we're actually ranking the hierarchy of the Iranian war and the global economy.
There's something, or
stuff
that's something. Yeah.
So if you want to go, Doug and Bobby Mack on the Strait of Hormuz, okay, but we could take a trip and see how much fun that is, or try to swim it. But in the sports world, I don't think there's anything bigger than Sorsby.
Well, just wait till Friday's show.
Yeah.
Something will happen.
Okay.
Because it's Friday news dump.
Yeah. That's probably true. Unless like a Spurs fan dies after the game or something.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. And that's another thing. That's out of control.
Yeah, it is.
See, we talked about potential violence in New York earlier with me at Madison Square Garden. I saw videos of that nonsensical stuff after game 3, and it turned my stomach. And then I was with some people later afterwards, and they were all sharing it and talking about it and laughing and smiling. And some of them said, "Oh, that shouldn't happen." Some people go, "Oh, that's awesome." And I'm like, this is what's wrong with us. How can you watch it again on repeat and condone this crap? It's not right. And not enough is being said or done about, curbing this. Some people have, God bless them, but I find it disgusting. And I don't care who wins, because I don't like the NBA. This is making me like it less. And it's not about New York. It's just about us. We got to be better. Come on. It's making me sick. And, the game's on Wednesday, and we're talking on Wednesday. We're going to do this on Thursday. I'm not going to watch the game. I don't want to see it anymore. I'm tuning it out. I'm boycotting, Doug.
I love the part about humanity. I don't look at it as an NBA thing though, because I've seen it in every sport, and I hate it like you do. I mean, there's all kinds of videos of Steelers fans getting beat up in Cleveland and Browns fans getting beat up in Pittsburgh sometimes. Yeah. Detroit was nefarious for doing stuff like this all the time. Everybody.
It's everywhere.
Safe. Yeah.
Well, what can we do to stop it? I don't think there's a cure for this craziness that is us. But man, it's 250 years. Can't we grow up?
I mean, I like your point about people wanting to rewatch it and getting enjoyment about it. I mean, it's almost like a guillotine effect. You know,
how many people stare and look at car accidents and slow down, and you're like,
"Oh yeah, I can't stand rubberneckers. I can't stand rubberneckers. If you keep looking over there, we're going to get into another wreck. Just drive."
Right.
What do you expect to see over there?
Well, I wonder what they're expecting to see. That's what scares me.
Yeah. I
don't know. It just. The older I get, the meaner I become about it, and maybe I'm just getting too old, Doug. I don't know.
I like.
Better put me out to pasture.
I like Angry Bob.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't remember the last time I got fired up about something.
Gonna be Happy Bob from now on.
Because you're always such a nice man, so I like to know that there's a button to come back to.
You want to see me happy? Buy me some damn cheese curds. I don't even know if I like those. I've only had them once, and they were kind of
All right, we're doing it right now.
Okay, now
let's see. Do you want to do? When do you want to go? You
just buy them, bring them over to my place, and then
then they're not as good by then.
That's okay. We can heat them up with a walleye in the microwave.
That's well done by you. They do not have walleye at 100 Mile Brew. We are going to 100 Mile
walleye. You just say the day.
We're going to 100 Mile Brew. Are you going to go to a couple press conferences, Monday press conferences of Kenny Dillingham?
Yeah, I guess in a couple months or so.
Yeah, do you want to do that, or do you want to do it?
I don't know. They've got me covering Cardinal games out of town now, so I don't know when I'm going to be available to even.
Wow, you're going to be traveling again. I thought you were done with that.
Well, long story, Doug.
Okay. What are they going to?
Long story.
Are you going to go cover a Montreal Alouettes game too, or like?
If I do, it'll be with a chin show with my friend Doug Franz.
That could be true. All right. So, do you want to go in June? Do you want to go on a Friday? You want to go on a Saturday? June. We're going to 100 Mile Brew.
June is far too soon for me to consider, but you just make the date, pick me up, and as long as I don't have to. Oh wait, I got to drive with you.
Yes. You get there fast.
Can't you have your wife drive or something?
Oh, no, that drives me crazy. I make her sit in the back.
I'll sit in the back. You sit in the back with me, and I'll keep you busy. I'll bring like a Rubik's Cube or a Dunkin' Yo-Yo or something.
All right, we are going. We're going to try it on Saturday, July 11th is when we're going.
I think I'm on vacation.
Well, then that way you can eat cheese curds then.
Yeah, oh. Whatever.
I'll let you choose the date. We are going.
Okay, sure. Okay, let me choose the name of this stupid segment.
Yes, if you can improve on shooting the bull with Bobby Mack.
Oh, I will. That's
top notch. That's top notch.
I don't think so.
All right, plug yourself. What are you getting to write on next?
Sunday Cardinals running back room could produce a top 10. Get this, rushing attack. But will it help them win any more games? I don't think so.
I would say if they are top 10 in rushing, it will help them win more games because
Doug, here's the thing. 5 of the previous 6 years before last year, when they finished 31st, had one winning season when they were in the top 10 in rushing yards. So I don't think so. Now, it would look nice.
I believe the LaFleur offense, based on what I see from Shanahan and what's his face from the
Nathaniel Hackett.
No, I don't. I know him. I was joking about.
Ooh.
No, his name is Sean McVay. I just didn't want to say it because he went to the school we do not speak of.
I don't know what you're talking about.
therefore, with that offense, the offshoots of how play action works is deadly. So if you are able to establish a running game like that, I believe the pass game would be amazing. There's just one catch, and that is I don't even think it's as much quarterback as this.
What?
Is Marvin Harrison a bust?
Oh.
Like, it's not even for a question for the year. It's like, I think he gets September. I mean, if he's not producing by the middle of October, I think the answer's in.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, what else? What has he done?
Potential trade candidate November 4th is what you're saying.
Maybe, but at the same time, I mean, it's not like the other teams don't have YouTube. I mean, they can get Sunday Ticket. They see it.
Now, this YouTube thing, is that something you have to order? Is it an app?
You can go online and just go to load up Safari or Explorer and then put in YouTube and watch stuff directly out of a browser.
Is this how I watch my Rolling Stones concert videos?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's YouTube.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. But on YouTube, they have the Sunday Ticket plan. So if you want Sunday Ticket, but now it's a bad buy because they've moved so many games to Netflix, so many games to Prime, so many games to other things. It's like, why pay for YouTube anymore?
Well, how about next week we talk about Marvin Harrison and his
expectations
or his demise, in your opinion?
I'm just saying it's got to come. I'm not saying he will fail, but I'm saying we don't need to wait much longer to find out if he is a failure.
I don't know. I'm going to have to stew on that, my friend.
Okay. That's the goal. And then
we really are a negative Nelly, though.
No, I just live in reality, and a lot of people are hopeful.
Every week it's something with you, my friend.
Well, you got me fired up for Connie. You know, I wish I was at the fight.
You just leave your paws off on my girl. I don't even know if she's alive, for heaven's sakes.
Well, God bless her.
I don't know. If you're out there, Connie, give me a call. Doug's got my number.
Love you, buddy. Thank you.
Okay. I kind of like you.
Here is Sue Rigler on 100 Mile Brewing Company.
This room that we're in right now is called the Roadrunner Room, and it is our private event space. It's 1,200 square feet and accommodates up to 80 seated, about 120 standing mingling. We have comedy night in here on Friday nights, and we've had board meetings, luncheons for ASU. We've had city council member, the mayor's been in here, Mayor Corey Woods. We have cornhole in here, so whatever really you want the space, we'll set it up for you.
100 Mile Brewing Company. Fresh. It never gets old.
This is Angie, the owner of Penny Royal Promotions.
Something that experience does for us is somebody might come in and they've been turned away from several other shops because their project might be a little too complicated or time consuming. My crew can go in, look at the project and say, here's what we can do to get it done, number one, and probably save you money. So they're very, very good at not saying no. Something will work. We just got to find out what works best for our client. That's what we do particularly well.
Bad loss for the D-backs. Here we go. It's a young man by the name of Ryan Gusto. Second year as a major leaguer, mostly a reliever. He's now being stretched out by the Marlins. He had one outing last year where he only gave up one run in 6 innings. So that's the best outing he's ever had. However, the best stretch of not giving up a run in one outing. He had an inning last year, 3 innings, where an outing, but that was kind of weird. I don't know why I'm butchering that. He went 3 innings in one outing without giving up a run. So in his entire year and a half history in the major leagues, only once did he go over 2 1/3 innings pitched without giving up a run in one outing. Like I said, one outing was a 1-run, 6-inning outing. That's his best outing, but he gave up a run in the outing. So the best performance he's ever had, and the only time he's ever gone over 2 1/3 innings of scoreless innings, is he had 1 3-inning outing without giving up a run in his life. He goes up against the Diamondbacks and he gets 4 innings. So he gets 3 more outs more in a scoreless inning than a scoreless outing than he's ever had in his life. Then they bring in 3 relievers, and all of them pitch a scoreless inning. That's ugly. Diamondbacks lose 8-0 against a guy in his 5th outing of the year. And he was a rookie last year. Here's Torey Lovello.
It didn't happen the way it was supposed to, right? Their starting pitcher threw 28 or 29 pitches in the first inning, and we couldn't get him out of there, with that built-up pitch count, and they seemed to. So I think the difference was slugging at the right time in the right situation, and that equaled 6 runs in that 1 inning.
Let's focus on that a little bit, Torey. See, I always get mad at the manager when guys aren't following a game plan. And this game is interesting because do you remember when they were playing very well against the Giants and Rockies? And some people were saying, come on, it's the Giants and Rockies. It's not real. And my opinion was, wait a minute, it's very real because over the course of the last 3 years, look at how many times the Diamondbacks lose games against a team that's bad. Even if they win the series, they don't put them away and take the sweep. Or they allow a pitcher that's been terrible against other teams to shut them down. And that always drove me crazy because that's a lack of professionalism when somebody has the outing of a lifetime against you and he has nothing else, nothing anywhere near it. When it looks like, when you look at his stats and suddenly it's Mount Everest in the middle of Kansas, there's one stat line and it's against you, then that's just plain unprofessional. I mean, the game is hard. Everybody's got professional athletes. This kid, Gusto, was probably the greatest pitcher in his high school history, probably one of the great players ever at his college or whatever. So he can play. He got here, yes. But he's never dominated anybody in his life at the major league level like he dominated your team. Ketel Marte went 0 for 5. Ketel, all the heroics are wonderful and great and thank you, but this kid has no business shutting you down. I don't know if you didn't take the game seriously yesterday. I don't know if you felt like, hey, this is kind of easy. It's just this kid. I'm going to swing for the fences because I want the stats. I don't know. But explain how you go 0 for 5 against a guy in his 5th outing in the year, and he's never pitched more than 3 scoreless innings in 1 outing. Now he gets to 4. Bad baseball. And then, other games I've told you, I'll get over it. I don't really, this doesn't bother me or this doesn't bother me because sometimes you lose. But it's the brain dead plays that drive me nuts. One brain dead decision is continually running Pavin Smith out there. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I've heard that your kid is a wonderful person. Every time I've talked to him, true professional, very nice young man. Good job raising him. But he's not a major league player. He's not. He's now batting 120 after an 0 for 3. 120. The first time at bat, there were 2 on and 2 out. He made the final out. The next time he came up in the 4th, there was 1 on and 1 out, and he made an out and did not advance the runner. In the 6th, there were 2 on and 1 out, and good job. He got a walk. Good job. And then in the 7th, there are 2 on and 1 out. Hugely clutch situation. And he strikes out. My notes, one great at-bat, Nolan Arenado, even though he struck out, It was an 11 pitch at bat. So here's the difference to me is it's the first inning, Marte strikes out. Corbin Carroll and Gabby Moreno have back-to-back singles. So 1 out, men on the corners. Yes, Arenado struck out. Yes, you want him to just put a sac fly up, knock in the run. But when you strike out on 11 pitches and you're battling, and the last pitch that he struck out on from Gusto, total pitcher's pitch. I mean, perfect, down and in, great sink. It fooled him a little bit, couldn't get the bat on it. That's just fantastic baseball. He got beat. I'll never have a problem with that. Never. And then Pavin Smith comes up and he literally took a ball right down the middle. I mean, literally, it was strike 3 was middle, and he takes it. Like, what are you doing? So that's from an offensive standpoint that drove me crazy. How many people got on base, and most of them left there by Pavin Smith, which is no longer, to me, Pavin Smith's fault. That's on Torey Lovello for putting him out there. Well, another positive in the first inning, Geraldo Perdomo turned a double play. He honestly, in my opinion, turned an RBI double into a ground out double play. It was amazing. It was a shot from Otto Lopez, who's already leading baseball in batting average. Hit a ball, clocked at 112 off the bat. And somehow Perdomo short hopped it, knocked it down, fell down, picked the ball up around his ankle, threw it to Marte. 1 out. Marte with a terrible turn, spiked the ball into the ground. Vargas with a great scoop, double play. Wow, Perdomo. In the third inning, this is a play that's not going to get talked about anywhere else, but it's got to be talked about. Third inning is a pop-up and a fly out to shortstop. I say fly out because it was a deep pop-up. So there's 2 outs. Liam Hicks hits a ball down the right field line that doesn't hit it, doesn't make a carom. It dies when it hits the wall. So instead of being able to field a ball that's coming back to Corbin Carroll off the wall, Corbin's got to run to the wall to pick it up. He throws it to Ketel Marte. Liam Hicks makes a terrible base running decision. With 2 outs and the current batting champion in baseball on deck, you do not go to third base under any circumstances. You do not go to third base. The idea of making the 3rd out at third base with Lopez having a bat in his hand is, well, it would have been it might have made the top 10 list of dumb things. I mean, it is really stupid to go to third on that play. And Ketel Marte has got him out dead to right. And Marte makes not a terrible throw, but not a good throw, pulls Arenado way high and to the right, and now Liam Hicks is able to slide into third safely. Any throw, it doesn't have to be perfect. Any throw that doesn't move Arenado off the bag, Hicks is out, the inning ends. The inning's over if you get that. And now Lopez bats leadoff. Why is that okay? Because nobody's on base. You now push Otto Lopez to bat in the 4th instead of the 3rd, and he bats leadoff, so he can't do as much damage. Instead, now you've got a runner on third, Otto Lopez with an RBI single up the middle. It's 1-0. You might say, hey, it's only 1 inning. I'm saying you eliminate a lot of pitches. Your team gets a lot of rest. Your pitcher gets a lot of rest. Because guess what happened after that single? Ryan Nelson hits the next batter, and then Edwards has a long at-bat and a strikeout. So now you have 3 extra batters faced because Marte doesn't throw out Hicks, and it's the very next inning where the shelling takes place of the pitcher. Ryan Nelson gets destroyed in the 4th inning. And that's what I'm staring at. Marte makes a routine throw, a throw every second baseman needs to make, the inning's over. It's the plays you don't make that just build up. That was bad. And then one of the meltdowns that happened in that fourth inning, there's an RBI single, and then Waldschmidt throws the ball very late to third as if he has any chance to get Liam Hicks out at third. And by doing that, he gives Otto Lopez a free bag. Lopez, paying attention after the single, gets to second on the throw. Sure, runners on the corners. Lopez is a great base stealer. He probably steals the base. But instead, you allow him to get to second, and now it can weigh on the pitcher. He's kind of like, what are you doing? And sometimes, yes, it means you're soft, but it happens. You're human too. Ryan Nelson is now tired from the Marte bad throw, and he's now frustrated probably with his outfield, and he gives up a 3-run homer. Now, you might be asking, with first base open, why in the world wouldn't Torey Lovullo walk Stowers and pitch to Edwards? Fair question, but let me actually defend Torey, which I don't often do. I thought that was the right move to pitch to Stowers. Stowers is a good ball player, but he's having a terrible year. He's batting .213. Edwards is batting .306. Edwards is a switch hitter, so it's not like you're getting a better matchup. It was right on left, but the next batter would have been right on left. I think you do pitch to Stowers in that situation. And then honestly, after you pitch to Stowers and you get the second out, or you should be able to get the third out right there and the inning's over. All the runs scored by the Marlins were scored with 2 outs. So the team isn't getting the job done. And then in the 5th inning, one of the runs scores on what's correctly ruled a double. But what happened is Waldschmidt and Tommy Troy run together. Tommy Troy is right next to the fly ball in left center field. And all of a sudden he puts his glove down. Waldschmidt had stopped thinking that Troy's got it. And then now the ball rolls to the wall. Bad. That was one of those junior high or high school plays right there. Here's Torey Lovullo on the play.
Yeah, I was pretty upset about it. Young players, they come up here and need to make the plays. They're expected to be ready and get the job done when they come here, and for the most part they are. And I know they played together left and center several times in Reno, so there's no excuse for them not being familiar with one another. And that's what I said. I said those are plays that need to be made. I don't want to get anybody hurt. You guys know the rules, and something broke down, and we got to figure that out as soon as possible. So I know that they both called it at the same time. There's a strategy to be able to do that and work through that, but unfortunately it didn't get made. 2 players could have caught the ball, and it bounces right in front of them. That's unacceptable.
Glad he said that. Hopefully they get that fixed. If you want to know, it's called pop-up priority, and it's kind of a weird discussion. Because rule number 1 is the center fielder catches everything. And then as you go through different caveats, you still refer back to rule number 1. So the whole play, on the one hand, like I see the play and I blame Tommy Troy, but truthfully, it's always the center fielder's fault. Does that make sense? Hopefully that you're able to, because you could easily go, well, Doug, why is it his fault if you're looking at Tommy Troy? Well, keep in mind, it's always the center fielder's fault. Always. Center fielder says, I got it. You get out of his way. But supposedly Tommy Troy called it, was right there, and then you could tell he kind of heard the footsteps of Waldy getting close and decided to stop because he's thinking, well, if the center fielder can catch it, it's the center fielder's ball. Yet you're the one standing right next to it. What really gets me is you're in Miami. It's the worst fan base in baseball. I mean, there's, I need to do this. I did not look up what the attendance was, but there's probably about 8,000 people there, and that's it. It's not like you can't hear each other. Let me cheat and look here. The attendance was 7,700. So that was pretty nails by me right there. Of course, I didn't win the Showcase Showdown because I was over. But that's ridiculous. You're in Miami. I mean, maybe if you're in Yankee Stadium and everybody's yelling, I can kind of get it. In Miami, you can't communicate? That's Bush League baseball. I don't care that they're rookies. That is Bush League baseball. Tommy Troy, you were under it. Catch the ball. If he would have barked, I got it, Waldschmidt would have let him have it because Waldschmidt's thinking, even though I'm the center fielder, I've run a long, long way. And if you've run a long way and you hear an I got it, you let it go. You trust the other guy. That was really bad. Now, when I tell you that there's caveats and there's other situations, it really depends on, okay, is there an out? Is there a throw that needs to be made? And you both know who's got a better arm. And so there's that caveat there. There's also the angles. If the play is going to be at third, you want the center fielder catching that ball because the center fielder is coming at an angle as if he's running towards third. If there's a guy on first and you want to keep him there, then you kind of like the right fielder to make the play because he's coming to second. And then it's a judgment of if it's a tag-up play, even though that ball was so deep, you're not going to throw anybody out at the plate. But then it depends on angles. And as I explain all that, none of it matters. Center fielder, your ball's everything. Does that make sense? Bad baseball yesterday. Like I said, there's games where the Diamondbacks lose, and I'm like, yep, they played hard. Bullpen might have gotten blown up. That's life. This wasn't one of those games. It took a lot of bad baseball. It took Torey Lovello putting Pavin Smith in the lineup. It took Mike Hazen keeping Pavin Smith on the roster. It took Ketel Marte going 0 for 5 against a pitcher in his fifth outing. It took massive mistakes by Ketel Marte in the field, massive mistakes by the offense to not take advantage of what they were able to get started in the first inning, not stay patient. And then, of course, Ryan Nelson pitched terrible. So we got everything bad in this game. There are problems, and I can't wait to talk to Bob Nightingale about it later today and have you hear that tomorrow. I briefly want to talk about the Cardinals, very briefly. You know, I told you it bothers me. It probably would have been Doug's big one if it wasn't for De'Aaron Fox. But there's a lot of things to talk about quarterback-wise that I want to get to. And then there was one really neat question that I'm going to save until tomorrow, if you don't mind. I don't think anybody else is going to talk about it. It's not going to be outdated, but I basically have an interview coming up with Bob Nightingale, so I need to get to bed. I know that sounds a little hilarious. But I think the quarterback situation is the biggest thing that came out of it. The thing I don't like is I really hate the fact that they canceled the minicamp. I thought it was a really dumb reason why they canceled minicamp. And according to LaFleur, it's because, hey, we know we're going to have an extra week of training camp.
That extra week of training camp, that extra block played into this considerably because, again, an extra block, like we're going to be able to put our pads on, and some teams are just going to be reporting. Like that's going to be awesome, you know, where we're actually starting to play football, and that's a positive for the Arizona Cardinals.
So you figure out when is your first preseason game. You start camp 2 weeks from that date, but you're not allowed to hit until about 3 or 5 days after. I can't remember what the number is. I should have looked it up yesterday and I forgot. So he's saying, since we're going to be hitting before any other team is even reporting, we're already going to be so ahead of the game. Let's take the day off now. That logic is just asinine. Your franchise, I know you weren't here, Coach, but this franchise lost more games than they have at any time in their history. This team makes the playoffs about once a decade in its history, and that even is a stretch. It wins a playoff game on average once every 20 years. And you're saying, no, we don't need to practice because we're going to be practicing an extra week in 6 weeks. And these aren't real practices either. I mean, minicamp practices, sure, you put a helmet on. Thanks, I have a helmet on now. You're not hitting in minicamp. So if you're not even hitting, how is this so taxing that you've got to let the players go? I'm not going to get on any other coach because you know why? They might win. So don't say, well, when I used to win with the Rams, and when we were with the Rams, we didn't practice all 3 days of mandatory minicamp. I don't care. You're not with the Rams anymore. You're with one of the losingest franchises in sports history. You got to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, Sunshine. Come on, kid. This is a bad organization, and you need to set the tone, and you didn't. Because, hey, we got practice in 6 weeks we got to get ready for. Oh, my gosh. You're 6 weeks away from work, and we need to rest up for it. You cannot convince me that makes sense. That's not just the wussification of America. It's the wussification of a football team. I guarantee you the Harbaughs are going to work their guys harder than you will be. Guaranteed. All right, the thing I did want to talk about, quarterback situation. This was actually not asked by America's reporter Teo Mackey. I think it was asked by Tyler Drake, a young man that started at the station right around the time that I was told to leave the station. Don't know him real well. Seemed like a nice dude. And I like the question, very short and sweet. When you start camp, who's QB1?
Not really concerned about QB1 right now. I'm concerned about these guys all reporting on July 22nd. Really more concerned about the next 40 days and what these guys are doing to, continue. Like, you can't take steps backwards. That's not the quarterback. That's all these guys. So literally my only focus right now is that we don't play again till September. It is June, whatever it is right now, 10th or whatnot. So not worried about that right now.
America's reporter Teo Mackey does get a question about it and he asks, do you expect Jacoby Brissett to get the contract done and be in camp on time?
Conversations will be ongoing like they have been. That's all I can give you guys on that, and we'll see where it goes.
Do you expect that competition to ramp up as soon as you guys get back in the building in July?
Shoot, I think it's been ramped up. I mean, every single day is a day to compete, whether it's OTA. The intensity should not change from OTAs to training camp. The only thing that happens is naturally, physically, the intensity picks up because they have pads on. You can actually play football. No, I hope nothing ramps up there.
What's crazy is there's no urgency anymore with Jacoby Brissett. You got 6 weeks before training camp. There's zero urgency because it doesn't matter whether you get a deal now done today or you get a deal done July 15th. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Because there's nothing there to do. But I will continue my stance of ripping both sides equally. And I'm actually this is going to sound funny. I'm actually going less and less on Michael Bidwill. Because I am starting to wonder, Jacoby, do you even want to play? I get the feeling you want to be paid a lot more because you kind of like being the backup quarterback. Man, I mean, be the starter. Should have been here at practice, dude. You know, Paris Johnson's here. A lot of players up for contract extensions are here. That's bad. That was bad news. That wasn't a good football move for Jacoby Brissett. But he thinks, I'm going to get one last payday. I need to hold on. You know, I understand it from a business sense if you're playing for a team that wants to win. Yeah. It's time for Do we have to do this? We have a problem. 0-7 yesterday. Not one thing I thought I knew actually happened. I don't think I've ever had an 0-7. I think I've had a 1-8. I think I've missed 7 games before, but I don't remember for sure. But I don't think I've ever had an 0-7. That was bad. And not a lot of it was close. A couple things were close, but not much. Told you I like the Diamondbacks on the money line against the Marlins. I thought they'd come back and play better after their game 1 of the series loss. It was close. Miami only won 8-0. I told you I like the Braves on the money line, on the run line over the White Sox. Braves didn't cover because they didn't win. White Sox win 2-1. Told you I like the Dodgers covering the run line. They didn't cover because they didn't win. Dodgers blew a 5-run lead. Pirates won 9-8. Like, you know how sickening it is to not be happy about that? Like, if I would have went 6-1, I would have been so excited to get that game wrong and the Dodgers blow a 5-run lead. I'm still kind of happy, I admit, but that's awful. How does that happen to me? And then here's where Vegas is just brilliant. I mean, I do have to give them a ton of credit. I'm always amazed at how right they can be. In that crazy game, last night in the finals, I took the Knicks and Spurs to go over the 216.5. The total was 215. I mean, that's amazing by Vegas to be that close and where they set the line. But I missed it by 1.5 points. I told you I thought Mikal Bridges would hit 2 3-pointers. He hit 1. And if he would have hit, he went 1 for 3. One of them was a wide open fourth quarter 3. If he would have hit that second one, not only would I have gotten that one right, but it would have pushed it over the total. So I would at least went 2-5, which is still pretty ugly, but it's not embarrassing the family ugly. I said Bridges would score 13 points. He scored 7. I said Karl Anthony Towns would score 18 points. He scored 13, and he had 2 fouls in the first 90 seconds and had to go sit. That's awful. That's awful. So, what do you do when it's that bad? You know what? You basically take a break. You know? You take a break. I'm only going on one game or one item, and I'm basically just doing it for fun because why not? Jordan Staal is the first player since Mike Bossy in '82 for the Islanders to score at least 1 goal in the first 4 games of the Stanley Cup Finals. Why not stick with him? Vegas is basically saying, no way is this guy scoring again. No way is he going 5 for 5 in goals per game. So, he's listed at plus 370 to score tonight. They did up the total. They've been having the total at 5.5 forever. And finally they got, okay, this game keeps going over. We'll go 6.5. I think it's going to go over the total, but I said I'm taking a break. I'm not playing anything real. But I am going to have some fun because, listen, if I get a plus 370 right, it certainly wipes out a lot of the pain of an 0 for 7. So let's do that. Jordan Staal will score tonight. That's a plus 370. Sound credits today. I got the Charles Barkley from the ESPN YouTube page. I got the Mitch Johnson, the Wemby, and I didn't use the Josh Hart that I found. I got those 2 guys from the NBA YouTube page. I got Mike LaFleur from the Arizona Cardinals YouTube page. And I got Torey Lovello from DBACKS.com. And, of course, they get it straight from DBACKS Television. That does it for today's version of Doug Franz Unplugged, presented by Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass. Remember, the person that reported there are still issues in the clubhouse with Ketel Marte is Bob Nightingale. And Bob Nightingale hasn't been on any media outlet since Torey Lovello said that we need to get rid of this narrative about Ketel Marte. So let's talk about it. Can't wait. Going to talk to him about it today. You'll be able to hear it on tomorrow's show. Doug Franz Unplugged is brought to you by, it's presented by, I should say, Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass. You can tell I'm starting to mentally fade. It's 6:24 right now. Whirlwind Plus plan is only $299 for the year. You basically almost always pay for it by your third visit, but it's guaranteed on your fourth visit unless all 4 visits are during the summer. But there's other ways that it pays, and that is attending the free events that they put on for Whirlwind Plus members. I guarantee if you're a Whirlwind Plus member, you're going to love it. So, like right now, you can get on the course for about $70. This is Whirlwind, $70. What do I do? Oh yeah, oh my gosh, it's Flame Out Bell's Nashville Kitchen, located in Old Town on Main Street, just off of Scottsdale Road. And am I in the mood for that? I would be there today if it wasn't for the fact that Bob Nightingale interviews right around noon or so. Santan Ford, 202 in Val Vista. Still amazing savings going on, but you're running out of time for the employee pricing. Burrito Express is located all across the east side and coming to a Circle K near you. 100 Mile Brewing Company, the home of Beer Friday tomorrow. Great sandwiches, great place, great vibe, and to go along with great beer. They're in Tempe, right where rural Scottsdale Road and the 202 all come together. Penny Royal Promotion, slap a logo on anything, they can take care of it. Email me, Doug@DougFranzUnplugged.com, and I'll get you set up. Goodyear Fit Body Boot Camp, inspiring fitness and changing lives every day. Owned and operated by a member of the Unplugged Army. Same thing with Wendy's and Slice House. Slice House by Tony Gemignani. Oh, I didn't even wait for the music. By Tony Gemignani. Al, I think I had a good show and a bad ending. Boy, I wish I could take you for a beer at Beer Friday tomorrow, Al.
Doug, thank you so much. My best to your listeners, and keep up the work on Doug Franz Unplugged.